just saw a guy in a Wawa hat, which is real funny because I don't even see him in New Jersey where they have Wawas, and now I saw one in Vegas. But today in my video series, beginner poker player mistakes, is frustration and tilt. A lot of beginner players get mad way too easily. They think they need to win every single hand, or if they played a hand well and they were ahead at any point, they were supposed to win. That's wrong on so many levels. I myself have lost to a one-outer this year 3 times. It's happened before this year. These weren't the first 3 times, but it's the most, I'm pretty sure, in 1 year. 3 one-outers. It happens. It's gonna happen again before I'm done playing poker for good. I had a hand a couple weeks ago. A guy didn't have much on the flop, but he turned flush and straight draws. We got all in on the turn. He had a ton of outs. I was ahead pre. I was ahead on the flop. I was ahead on the turn when we got all in. A lot of people think they're supposed to win. They need to win. That guy had a lot of outs. He could have hit 2 pair. He could have hit trips. He could have hit a straight. He could have hit a flush. It was like 60-40. I was ahead, but he was 40% to win. That's a lot. He's gonna win plenty of the time. I happen to hold on. I'm under no delusions about how good of a hand that was, how good of a run out, I mean, how good of a river it was for me that I won when he had almost half the deck to help him. I'm not under any delusions about that, but a lot of beginner players are. I had a hand just now at Mandalay. I'm sitting in South Point, but I was in Mandalay earlier. It was a 3-way all in. Each guy could have hit trips or 2 pair. They both had a pair that was on the flop. So either one could have, hit his trips card or his 2 pair card. We got all in on the turn. I was 80% to win, and each of them on their own 10% to win. So I was 80 to win, 20% to lose to one of them. One of the guys hit trips. It happens. I don't win 100% of the time. If you get all in on the river, yeah, there's no cards to come. It's 100 versus 0, one way or the other. And there are sometimes on the turn, the losing hand is drawing dead. It doesn't happen all that much. Like, there are more cards to come unless you're all in on the river, and usually those cards can change what's going on. There was a hand in Council Bluffs right before Corona. Someone needed runner. There was an all-in on the flop. The losing player needed the turn and river cards to help him. They did. He won. One guy at the table was astounded by this. He took out his phone, took out the Hold'em calculator, the all-in calculator. The losing player, the guy who was losing on the flop, who ended up winning the hand, was about 1.5% to win on the flop. And the guy just keeps showing me his phone, the calculator, and he goes, how does he win? 1.5%? How does that happen? It's not supposed to happen. How does it happen? And I blew his mind when I said, well, it isn't 0%, so he needs to win sometime. And after I said that, like, light bulbs went off in his head that we're going to see it eventually. It won't be common, but we're going to see it eventually. Unless it's 100 to 0, you're going to lose some of the time. So beginner poker players get tilted very easily when they think they played a hand well or they were ahead at the time of the all-in. They don't realize how frequently you actually lose from ahead. And it's weird because they do understand in other areas. Like, they understand that the greatest free throw shooters of all time are about 91%. Like, it's a fairly short shot with no defense. And the best people Earth has ever seen can only make that 15-foot shot about 91% of the time. It's not 100, it's like 91. What, Steve Nash and Rick Barry are about 91, 92%? It's not 100. A lot of things are not 100. So when you're playing poker, there's a lot of unknown, there's a lot of runouts, there are things you don't know what's gonna happen. Things are rarely 100 to 0, but beginner poker players for some reason think, oh, I had a strong hand, oh, I played this hand well, oh, I was ahead at the time we got all in, and I'm entitled to win, I was supposed to win, I should have won, and they get very mad when they don't. If you're ever at the table when I lose to a one-outer, I don't flip the table, I don't get mad, I continue playing. It's gonna happen. I've lost to 3 one-outers this year, I'll lose to more in the future. It's gonna happen.
I got it at the stadium. Man.